Okay guys, so this is going to be a Tinkercad tutorial video, and my goal is going to be to create a mathematically relevant shape. Specifically here, I'm going to create a hypercube in a kind of non-standard, apparently, on Thingiverse orientation. So the first thing I'm going to do is just grab this ruler up here, and I'm just going to slap that down someplace. So I'm going to put it right here. And what that's going to do is let me edit the numbers. Without the ruler down, you kind of can't, it's harder to just input things with your keyboard. So I'm going to grab a box, and I'm going to throw it in here. And if you look, right, so this thing's a cube. And so I'm just going to create some random dimensions. So I'm going to make this thing, say, 2 millimeters by 2 millimeters by, oh, what the heck, 20 is good. So I'll just leave that. Okay, so that's going to be one of my edges. And so I'm going to duplicate that with the usual copy paste. And then let's see, so I'm going to make a cube that's going to be 20 millimeters on a side, apparently, because I picked 20 as this height here. So here's now 18 from there to here, and then the thing's 2 millimeters wide, so that's a total of 20. And then we're just going to kind of continue to do this. So I'm going to paste another one of these someplace, and I'm going to slide this one out until it's at 1818. And then we're going to paste another one in here, and I'm going to slide this one over until it's at 0 over 18 up. Great, cool. All right, so those are the pillars for my cube. Now I'm just going to paste another one of these someplace. And I'm going to scoot it over, and then I'm going to rotate it. And if you put the mouse on the outside, you'll get single degree rotations. And if you put it on the inside, you'll get nice snap to easy angles. So I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees. I want to put it at 0, oops, not 3, but 0 in the vertical. So I'm just selecting that and then typing in there. And then I want to scoot it over. So in this case, I'm just going to use arrow keys to scoot it over. Great. Awesome, there we go. So we're going to duplicate that now, slap another one down, and just arrow key it into position here. Okay, we're going to duplicate again. And because I changed my perspective, it duplicated, kind of pointed the right way. I'm going to do that same thing again. We're going to just drop that right in there. And then we're going to take, I'm going to take all of those 4, oops, come on, shift, click, shift, click, shift, click. Okay, so I got all 4 of those. So I'm going to copy that whole thing, paste it, and now I'm going to grab this little, it's kind of hard to tell, but that's a different shape, that handle. So that's the lifting handle. So I'm going to lift that handle up, then I'm going to grab this, enter 0 in there, and this thing's going to scoot over. Okay, so now I've got a whole cube. So I'm going to grab the whole cube, and I'm going to use the group command to group that whole thing together. So, bam, that's now one object. And now I'm going to copy that, paste it. You can actually just use Control D if you just want to duplicate things. Let's see, so that's now over 10. I want to shift it to back 10. So I'm going to do 10 there. And then I'm going to shift it. Guess what? Oops, not that one. That would change the height. I want to move it up 10. Boom. Okay, so now this bottom corner, right, is at 10 over, 10 back, and 10 up. And now what? Let's see. Now I think I want to, okay, so to make my hypercube, I need to connect these things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a new box. I'm going to make that 2 by 2 by 20, right? And now let's see. So everything was 45-degree angles, so I need to rotate this 45 degrees this way. And where's my other rotate handle? And 45 degrees that way. And now we're going to try to bury this in here. So, let's see. Uh-oh, I think I've made a mathematical error. Alright, so we're eyeballing it now. So let's see, I need to make it shorter. Right. So what I'm trying to do is get these to kind of connect. And I want to move this over. Okay. And I'm going to move that back just a little bit. And I think it's really becoming clear here that I should have made this thing a little smaller to start with. You guys see my problem? It's kind of sticking out on the edges. Okay, so I'm going to pause this and do that. Okay, well, with a little bit of fiddling, I managed to get this thing into what I think is more or less the right spot. It's still not totally perfect, but yeah, what the heck, you know. Alright, so now I'm just going to duplicate that guy, and notice that duplicated something just directly in place, right? And so I want to move that one, oops, camera problems. I want to move that one over until it's at the right vertex. Okay, and then we're going to duplicate that one, and we're going to move this over, and we could really just type, I guess, right? So I know that I want this to be at 0, and I know I want this over to be at 20, oops, give or take 18 rather. Okay, so I think that's going in there better. Yep, that looks better to me. Okay, and then we're going to, yet again, we're going to duplicate, and we could just slide it over on that one. I think I want to go, nope, right there. Let's see, how's that look? Not stellar. Okay, that looks a bit better. Okay, and then to save myself the hassle of positioning everything again, I'm going to, oops, I'm holding the wrong key down. I'm going to hit Shift and grab those 4 pieces. I'm going to group them, and then I'm going to call them a different color so I can see them. And then I'm going to duplicate that thing, and then I'm going to, with Control D, and then I'm just going to lift that object directly up into the air. And now I think I've got those more or less correct. Let's see, if I lift a little too high, things look a little dorky, so we're going to go with that. Okay, is it perfect? Not really. Was it relatively fast and pretty doable? Yeah, I think so. And so this is a hypercube, guys. This is a cube, right? Let me highlight the pieces. So there's a cube, the orange cube. There's a cube, the red cube, and all of these little blue connecting bars are really representing the connection between the 2 cubes. Maybe a little expository example might go a little ways on that. So let me just start by creating a one-dimensional let's save the explanation of why this is a hypercube for a little bit later. For right now, this is just a Tinkercad tutorial. If you want to talk about why it's a hypercube, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it in class or something.